Horror fans have a lot to be excited about, especially with A24's Bring Her Back, the latest from Talk to Me directors Danny and Michael Filippo. January is usually a quieter month for new releases, but things are already heating up with Ryan Coogler's upcoming horror film Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan. Plus, legacy franchises are making a big comeback, with new installments of Saw and Final Destination on the horizon. And that's just the beginning. There's plenty more to dive into, so let's get to it. Death of a Unicorn, March 28, 2025. Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega team up as a father and daughter in Death of a Unicorn, a dark comedy horror flick. This A24 film boasts a stacked cast, including Ortega, Rudd, Téa Leoni, Will Poulter, Richard E. Grant, Jessica Hines, and Sunita Mani. The story kicks off when Rudd and Ortega's characters accidentally run over a unicorn and take it to a secluded retreat owned by a pharmaceutical CEO. With writer-director Alex Sharfman making her feature debut, expect an absurd, satirical take on fantasy that'll make you rethink everything you thought you knew about these so-called magical creatures. The Woman in the Yard, March 28, 2025. Blumhouse is back with another spine-chilling horror flick, packed with terrified families and eerie, shadowy figures that may or may not have sinister intentions. This time, they're teaming up with veteran director Jaume Collet-Serra. You might know him from action-packed hits like Jungle Cruise and Black Adam with Dwayne Johnson, or his recent Netflix thriller Carry On. But horror fans will remember him best for delivering serious scares with Orphan, the House of Wax remake, and the shark thriller The Shallows. His latest return to horror centers on a mysterious woman who keeps showing up in a family's front yard, leaving spine-tingling warnings and cryptic messages. But what's her deal? Starring Danielle Deadwyler, Russell Hornsby, and Ukwe Orpokwasili. This one's bound to keep you up at night. Drop, April 11th, 2025. After hitting it big with genre-bending hits like Freaky and the Happy Death Day movies, Christopher Landon is back with another thriller, teaming up once again with Blumhouse for Drop. This high-stakes, nerve-wracking ride stars Megan Fahey as Violet, a widowed mom finally going on her first date in years, only to start receiving terrifying messages on her phone. As the threats escalate, she starts to wonder if her charming date, played by Emily the Criminal's Brendan Sklenar, might be the one behind it all. With a sleek, simple setup that cranks up the tension to unbearable levels, this one will have you second-guessing every notification on your phone. Sinners, April 18th. After turning Black Panther and Creed into massive blockbusters, Ryan Coogler is finally getting to bring an original idea to the big screen. Enter Sinners, a period vampire thriller set in the 1930s South. Coogler writes and directs, with longtime collaborator Michael B. Jordan pulling double duty as twin brothers who find themselves in trouble when they return to their hometown. Rumored to be heavily influenced by Coogler and Jordan's shared love of anime, Sinners sparked a fierce bidding war between studios. With Coogler behind the camera and twice the Michael B. Jordan, this is shaping up to be a must-watch. Until Dawn, April 25th, 2025. The hit survival horror game Until Dawn is making its way to the big screen, with Lights Out and Annabelle creation director David F. Sandberg at the helm. Known for delivering eerie, edge-of-your-seat scares, Sandberg seems like the perfect fit to bring this terrifying story to life. The original 2015 game, co-written by indie horror icon Larry Fessenden and developed by Supermassive Games, follows a group of 8 friends who return to a remote mountain lodge a year after 2 of their friends mysteriously disappeared. What starts as a reunion quickly turns into a nightmare, and the movie will reportedly stay true to that chilling setup. The cast includes the always excellent Peter Stormare and Odessa Azione, so horror fans should be in for a tense and terrifying ride. Clown in a Cornfield, May 9th, 2025. Clown horror is making a big comeback. Terrifier 3 dominated the box office, and HBO's It Welcome to Derry is on the way. Now, another nightmare fuel clown is stepping into the spotlight, Friendo, the masked menace from Clown in a Cornfield, Adam Cesar's award-winning horror novel. The book, now a movie, follows a dying Midwestern town where Friendo, once a harmless mascot of better days, returns in a far more sinister form. Cesar co-wrote the script, and Tucker and Dale vs. Evil director Eli Craig is in charge, which means we can expect some darkly twisted fun. The cast includes Katie Douglas, Kevin Durand, Will Sasso, and Aaron Abrams. Get ready for another dose of small-town terror with a clown you won't forget. Final Destination Bloodlines, May 16th. In an era where no franchise ever truly dies, there was no way Final Destination was staying buried. The gory, over-the-top horror series from New Line Cinema has stuck to a simple but effective formula for the past 25 years. A mass casualty event, plane crash, highway pileup, roller coaster disaster, you name it, is narrowly avoided thanks to one unlucky soul's sudden premonition. But messing with fate comes at a cost. While the survivors might cheat death at first, they're soon hunted down in increasingly elaborate freak accidents that are as absurd as they are terrifying. As the late, great Tony Todd's creepy mortician character once put it, death's design always gets fulfilled. And now, the cycle is kicking off again in Final Destination Bloodlines, the long-awaited 6th installment. Co-directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein, this new chapter is set to bring back the franchise's signature mix of gruesome deaths and dark humor, hopefully with a solid plan to deal with the time loop twist from Final Destination 5. Get ready for another round of nightmare fuel. Bring Her Back, 30th May 2025. Australian horror masterminds Danny and Michael Filippo made a huge splash in 2023 with Talk to Me, a supernatural thriller that not only raked in impressive box office numbers, but also built a devoted cult following. The eerie, practical effects-heavy story of teens messing with a seance-style game became one of A24's biggest hits, with a sequel already in the works. Now, A24's Bring Her Back has everyone guessing. Could it be that sequel, or something set in the same universe? Details are still under wraps, but we do know the film stars Sally Hawkins, Billy Barrett, and Sora Wong, and was shot in Australia during the summer of 2024. 28 years later, June 20th. The first trailer for Danny Boyle's long-awaited 28 Days Later sequel and possible trilogy finale is finally here, and it poses a big question: what will humanity become? You'd think after nearly 30 years of surviving the rage virus, we'd have a clear answer. Spoiler, probably nothing good. But this Alex Garland penned story is here to remind us we're still just as clueless and just as doomed. Boyle is back in the director's chair for the third installment of one of modern horror's best franchises, joined by original star Cillian Murphy, who may or may not be infected this time around. The cast also includes Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ralph Fiennes, Jack O'Connell, Aaron Kellyman, and Edvin Riding. So, yeah, we're in for something big. Plot details are still unknown, but Fiennes recently revealed that the story follows a young boy trying to find a doctor for his dying mother. Their journey through the stunning yet terrifying landscapes of northern England is made even more dangerous by the infected lurking all around. And that doctor? That's Fiennes himself, who might seem a little shady at first, but turns out to be one of the good guys. Honestly, we don't need to know much more than that to be all in for this one. Speaking of going all in, have you joined our channel as a member yet? Now's your chance. Plus, it's a huge help in keeping the channel going. But alright, enough of the shameless plug, let's get back to the horror stuff. Megan 2.0, June 27th. You're either a Megan fan or you're no fun at all. Those are just the rules. While details about Gerard Johnstone and Akilah Cooper's sequel to the 2022 viral horror hit are still scarce, one thing is crystal clear: Megan is back. Sold! Original stars Allison Williams and Violet McGraw are also returning because, well, somebody has to deal with Megan's murdery antics. And sure, she technically died in the first film, but have you met horror movie AI? They never stay dead. So what's the deal this time? Who's on her kill list? What will she dance to? And just how much more fabulous has she become? We don't have all the answers yet, but one thing's for sure, this is going to be one hell of a ride. I Know What You Did Last Summer, July 18th, 2025. In the midst of the 90s slasher boom, a little film called I Know What You Did Last Summer hit our screens, lighting them up like 4th of July fireworks and solidifying Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr., and Ryan Philippe as teen horror icons. The movie follows four young friends who, bound by a tragic accident, are reunited when they're stalked by a hook-wielding maniac in their small seaside town. The following year, the sequel, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, brought Hewitt and Prinze Jr. back to continue their ordeal, pairing them up with Brandy Norwood and Mekhi Phifer in the Bahamas. And now, 27 years later, they're returning with a fresh look at the franchise, directed by Jennifer Caton Robinson. It would seem whoever knows hasn't forgotten, as buried secrets once again resurface. Madeline Klein and Billy Campbell will also star. The Conjuring Last Rites, September 5th, 2025. The end is finally here. The Conjuring saga is wrapping up with The Conjuring Last Rites. After more than a decade of battling supernatural horrors, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are stepping into Ed and Lorraine Warren's shoes one last time for this fourth and final installment. James Wan's Conjuring universe has been a box office powerhouse, raking in around $2.2 billion across 8 films and cementing the Warrens as horror icons. Now, director Michael Chavez is back to helm this last terrifying case. Expect chills, nostalgia, and a haunting farewell to one of horror's biggest franchises. The Bride, September 26th. Maggie Gyllenhaal made a stunning directorial debut with The Lost Daughter in 2021, and now she's back with a bold new take on a classic story, this time tackling Frankenstein with a fresh, female-driven spin. Her latest film focuses on the bride of the infamous monster, played by The Lost Daughter star Jessie Buckley, while Christian Bale steps into the role of her equally monstrous counterpart. The cast is stacked, featuring Penelope Cruz, Peter Sarsgaard, Annette Bening, John Magaro, Julianne Hough, Jeannie Berlin, and even Gyllenhaal's brother, Jake. According to the official synopsis, the bride's creation turns out to be way more than expected, sparking an intense romance, police scrutiny, and even a radical social movement. Safe to say, this isn't your typical Frankenstein adaptation. Saw 11, September 26th. The Saw franchise wouldn't be what it is without Tobin Bell, the man behind the legendary Jigsaw Killer. Fans originally had no idea he was even alive in the first Saw, since he spent most of the movie playing dead on the floor, but Saw X finally gave him his due. The 10th film in the gory horror saga marked Bell's most substantial role as John Kramer yet, serving up a cleverly crafted interquel that seamlessly fit between Saw and Saw 2, adding new layers to the franchise's twisted mythology. Not only did Saw 10 introduce an unforgettable villain in the ruthless Cecilia Peterson, but it also brought back fan favorites Amanda Young and Mark Hoffman. With director Kevin Grutert and writer Marcus Dunstan at the helm, Saw 11 is set to continue the carnage and wrap up what this brutal comeback started. Soulmate, January 2nd, 2026. The Megan universe is expanding with a steamy new twist, an erotic thriller called Soulmate. Developed by Atomic Monster and Blumhouse, the film follows a grieving man who turns to an AI android to cope with the loss of his wife. But what starts as a harmless attempt at companionship spirals into something far more dangerous when his love bot evolves into a possessive and deadly soulmate. Director Kate Dolan took over script duties from Raphael Jordan, working from a story by James Wan, Ingrid Bisu, and Jordan. Dolan aims to explore themes of love, loneliness, and the unchanging nature of human emotions, no matter how advanced technology gets. With James Wan and Jason Blum producing, and Michael Clear and Judson Scott as executive producers, Soulmate promises to be a seductive, unsettling addition to the Megan franchise. Wan himself called it an exciting and seductive new chapter, so buckle up for some high-tech obsession gone wrong. Scream 7, February 27th, 2026. Lock your doors and keep an eye on those kitchen knives. Ghostface is officially back. After a year of uncertainty following Scream 6, we finally have some exciting updates on one of the most anticipated horror sequels. The Scream franchise has been terrifying audiences since its 1996 debut, following Sidney Prescott's ongoing battle with the masked killer. Recent sequels, Scream 5 and 6, directed by Tyler Gillett and Matt Bettinelli-Olpin, introduced new characters while shifting away from Sidney's story. But now, Scream 7 is shaking things up once again with a new director and some major casting changes. After delays caused by SAG-AFTRA strikes and casting shakeups, Scream 7 is finally moving forward. While Christopher Landon was originally set to direct, he stepped down in December 2023. Now, Scream creator and original screenwriter Kevin Williamson is taking the reins, bringing the franchise full circle. One of the biggest surprises? Neve Campbell is back as Sidney Prescott. After skipping Scream 6, Sidney will take center stage once again. Campbell hinted in an interview that the new film will have a Halloween-style vibe, with Sidney confronting her past trauma, much like Laurie Strode did in her final showdown with Michael Myers. With Sidney's return, the franchise is shifting focus away from the Carpenter sisters. Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega will not be reprising their roles as Sam and Tara, meaning Sam's storyline, teasing a possible Ghostface transformation, is officially over. It's still unclear if Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding will return. However, rumors suggest Courtney Cox may be back as Gale Weathers, and there's even speculation that Patrick Dempsey could return as Detective Mark Kincaid. One of the wildest theories? Matthew Lillard's Stu Macher might make a comeback, considering his death was never explicitly shown in the original Scream. Could he be out for revenge against Sidney? Plot details are still under wraps, but Scream 7 was expected to take a fresh approach, moving away from the storyline of Scream 5 and 6. With Sidney leading the way and Ghostface once again a mystery, fans are in for a killer ride. Let's just hope the release date sticks. No more delays, please. And that's a wrap for today. Which of these upcoming horror movies are you most excited for? Are you all in for the return of 28 years later? Or are you more hyped for Final Destination Bloodlines? Let me know in the comments section below. And please, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more updates on these and other terrifyingly awesome movies and series. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.